The Cave of the Woof. Okay, so that is...
Hold on, say that again.
The Cave of the Woof.
Okay, I thought you said the Cave of the Woof.
The Woof.
I was like, what the fuck?
The Woof.
Is that how you? Is that like a new pronunciation I haven't heard yet? Like,
the Woof is on fire.
Let that motherfucker burn.
Who's opening this shit?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Challenge Fandom Podcast. This time around, we're bringing you Challenge Trash Talk Roundtable. Got myself, Ricky Hayes, my beautiful wife, Karina Hayes.
Hello, hello.
And the one, the only, the mysterious Josh motherfucking Chambers.
What's up?
Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight or today or whenever time you listen to this. We're going to be breaking down episode 15. Episode 15, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, yeah, 15. And the title of this one is...
The Cave of the Wolf.
Oh! Sorry, I probably just completely read the fucking theme, but whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
It's all right.
Editing.
Woohoo. So the Cave of the Wolf, man. You know what, this is... Honestly, I know I've said this about 7 times. Like, this is the episode we've been waiting for. But... fuck that. This was the episode we've been waiting for. Like, physical contact daily, good political, bad political, drama because of the political, and then a pretty solid elimination.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you know what? When you break it down like that, this was a fucking solid episode. It was a really solid episode. I liked it. So we break into the episode. Tori, just a recap, because obviously we've been gone for a couple weeks. We apologize to you guys. We've had some personal things going on with us. And whatever.
I'm pregnant.
But we are back, and now Tori has been moved over to the Ruby team because Amanda took her spot on Emerald. So we start the episode, and Tori's kind of giving this little pep talk with the Ruby team, and she's like, you know what, fuck that. Like, we're done being the underdogs. Like, we're gonna win. We're gonna kick ass. She's like trying to pump them all up, right? She even paints like one fingernail on like everybody's hand, just one, and they do like a little, they'll put it in the middle and like whatever. Right. And so she's trying to up the morale. I respect her for it. I think that everybody else on the team was kind of like they knew what it was, that she was more, in my opinion, trying to convince herself that it was going to be okay being on Ruby. But I don't really think the rest of the team really bought into that.
Well, that's exactly what it was. But she came in and picked up where Corey left off. Corey was the cheerleader. He was all about the team. And then we see Tori come in there, and she's just trying to pump it. She's trying to make the best out of a bad situation. I mean, even though there's 4 on that team and only 3 on Sapphire, she's trying to make the best of the situation, trying to get that team motivated to do something and win something. They've been so close somehow, some way, and still haven't been able to pull off a daily win.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be the odd one out. I thought it was corny. I love Tori, but
it was super corny.
Like, I really didn't like it. It just felt like filler. Like, I know there was something better going on in the house other than that. But at the same time, it did give me blood in, blood out vibes big time. So, just putting that out there.
Well, and I think that, yes, I do think that it was definitely corny and we could have done without it. However, I do think that they put it in there for a purpose. I think it kind of foreshadows a little bit of what's going to happen later in the episode with Tori on the Ruby team going against her friends on the Emerald team. And obviously we'll get into all of that. But that was just kind of like the reasoning I saw behind them putting that scene in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's fair. It's just, I find it ironic that she's sitting there and she's pep talking the Ruby team that consists of Kyle. Like, she's talking about loyalty and building on a team, and it's you're talking to Kyle. Like, dude would sell his mom for a gallon of milk. I mean, I don't think that's true, but it seemed fitting at that moment.
But you also got Nelson and Big T
It's just the audacity of it all. I'm going to be honest. No, I mean, like, I get why she's doing it. And yeah, it's, you know, it's a little TV segment that they filmed because the real group discussion was not that. Let's be honest. It wasn't, the real team talk wasn't like, let's paint our fingernails red and say, go Ruby. Like, it was, don't fuck this up.
Right. And Karina hits it right on there. I mean, once you watch the whole episode and then you're like, all right, that makes sense. That needed to be a part of it to put the whole story together.
Yeah, I feel like it kind of was just another one of those ways that they were just trying to show us that she was really in with Ruby and that she was like I said, she was all in on Ruby and, you know, and moving forward with them. And I think that was just really the point that they were trying to drive through. However, the next scene that we see, we get some people working out. We get Tori swimming in the pool. We get Emmanuel out there doing some vampire yoga.
No.
What?
Tori was skinny dipping in the pool.
Was she? Okay. Was she skinny dipping? Because like I didn't see a suit, but I just assumed maybe like a nude color or I don't. But
have you ever bought a nude colored bikini?
No, but
have you ever seen anyone buy a nude colored bikini?
I don't know. Like her hair is really long. I don't know.
If it's coming to Tori, Rick would be the expert.
Rick is he's just going to go with the fact that she was skinny dipping.
Yeah, I mean, she was skinny dipping.
She could have been fully clothed and he'd be like, nah, she was skinny dipping.
Emmanuel was out there fucking, I don't know what he was doing because that wasn't yoga, but he was doing something and he looked good doing it. I'm not going to lie. Like I was watching and I was envious. I was like, fuck, I wish I could move my leg like that. I can barely fucking clip my toenails.
Right.
It's just like Jesus. But no, it was a cool scene. But with that being said, and to kind of blurt in on Karina real quick, the highlight of it was Josh working out.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking. It was CT working out.
Yeah, it was the 5 seconds that we got of CT, not the 30 minutes they showed of Josh working out, which was absolutely unfair and ridiculous, if you ask me. But those like 5 seconds of CT out there just working out in the freaking yard was just amazing.
CT gave Josh his seal of approval, though.
He did. And you know what? No, I will give it to Josh, dude. Like, he looks fucking amazing this season. Like, compared to what he has shown up for in the last, you know, up until this point, like, you can tell that Josh has been putting in the work in. And them showing him training, like, obviously, like, they don't show us them working out all the time, but it was nice that they showed us that because it's nice to see that like he was out there working out with, you know, same time as CT. And I think they even showed Nelson out there working out too. Like they flashed a little clip of him. I'm not 100% on that, but
I'm sorry. Anytime I think about Nelson up on that hill, I think about Kyle and Devin up on the patio above him. And he's like, there's 3 guys left, which means I got a 50% chance of going in.
He's like narrating his thoughts. I used to walk these stones with Corey.
That's kind of symbolic because sometimes life's uphill battles and then sometimes it's downhill.
Oh my God.
Anyways, yeah, it was. Anyways, back to CT running around, working out in slow motion.
Yeah, but no, even beyond that, like you said, he gave Josh the seal of approval. He even said that he's impressed with Josh. And you know what? And that's like, to me, that definitely means something because like I said, we don't see them working out all the time, but the fact that he's out there with CT and, you know, and CT is giving him that seal of approval, like that tells me that Josh is really putting the work in this season because CT doesn't just say that about people, you know?
Facts. And I was sitting there listening to that and then like going back and thinking, it was like, okay, you know, seeing Josh when he first showed up, and now seeing him now, and then, you know, seeing his Instagram posts and social media today, it was just like, dude, he's coming in fit. He's wanting to show up in shape to be able to do something. Yeah, his elimination record doesn't show it, but, you know, he's there to battle. Whether, you know, whatever people think about him, emotional or whatever, he's there to win. It just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, and like I've been putting a lot of thought into this, and I've been talking with Tony in the group, and
Tony Lance.
Yeah, Tony's a great guy.
He's so dope. Yeah. I love him. Dude, shouts to Tony because I know you're going to hear this, dude. But shout out, dude. You are fucking badass.
And for your Thursday podcast, love it.
His weekly podcast roundup, man. He rounds them all up Thursday morning and just like posts the links and the names and the guests, like does all the research for everybody in the groups, shares them in there. So if you guys are in our groups, make sure you guys watch out for Tony Lance on Thursday mornings. He's going to give you guys all the breakdowns on all the challenge podcasts that are coming out that week.
But me and him were talking about Josh, and it was like, and I was saying, like, if you look at Josh's casting photos in Big Brother, you know, he's got his shirt off, he's sucking in the gut, you know what I mean? And then, exactly. You got that kissy face because he's sucking it in so much, you know, and then you see his cast photos from War of the Worlds 1. You know, you can tell he's just won 500K. He's been eating good. You know, life's good. And then you look at like what he's done this year and the game he's played thus far. And I mean, I know he walks in with the history of being a quote unquote layup, but really he didn't look like one this year. He didn't look like someone I would want to go into pole wrestle with, you know, not to say that, you know, win or lose, or he's a dominant person in the game. He's definitely just making strides to become a better player. And I can respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I definitely want to talk more about this once we get down to talking about Josh's elimination. But, you know, so we leave off from seeing him working out and stuff, and we flip on over to now CT and Tori are walking around and they're talking, and they end up making a little bit of a deal to where Ruby and Sapphire are kind of agreeing to work together a little bit on the next daily, if possible, because obviously at this point, they don't even know what it is. But they're, you know, let's see what we can do for each other, try to work together so that one of us can win. And CT even says that his goal was for Ruby to win this daily, right? He said something along the lines of, you know, let's shock everybody and make the impossible happen with Ruby winning a daily in season 37. So he's on this, like, let's get Ruby a win. He doesn't want Emerald to win again. And they make the deal.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense to me that CT doesn't want to win because CT doesn't ever want to be in the spotlight. He doesn't want to have to make the hard decision. So him saying, let's get Ruby that win, you know, it just plays right into his lap. And it's kind of like what Banana said. I've listened to his podcast a couple of times, and every time he mentions having a conversation with CT, he goes, I walk into it and I realize that I've somehow mortgaged my house for CT and I don't know what I got out of the situation. And it's so true. Like, you watch Tori, like, why did Tori need to make a deal with anyone? She's set up. Everyone on Emerald, she's dating one of them. The other one is her best friend. And then there's Josh, who she's really good friends with.
Casey and
Nani. And then you have on Ruby, you're cool with Nelson. You're cool with Kyle. And then on Sapphire, you're cool with fucking Logan.
And you're good friends with Emmy.
And CT. So, like, why are you making any deals?
The devil got in her head. And it was freaking amazing. I loved it. The fact that Amanda is able to do this every single time that she's on is, we don't talk about it enough. She got into head, just put in that little bit of seed of doubt in her mind that Josh didn't want to work with her. And it's like, he said her name, and that's all that's stuck with Tori. So Tori's just like, all right, CT, I'm mad. I got to get back at him. This hurt. How do we do it? And then there's the plan.
Well, and we even get that conversation. And I know we actually kind of forgot to touch on this at the beginning of the episode. It's like actually one of the first scenes. We get Amanda and Josh talking before we even see Tori doing her pep talk with Ruby. And we see Amanda and Josh talking, and she straight tells him, she's like, you guys better work with me and you better welcome me with open arms. And then Josh goes in and he starts talking to Casey and everybody. And then it cuts to Casey doing her confessional. And she's like, you know, we don't want to like pretty much like risk our game by like not making her feel welcome. And to me, her having that conversation with Josh and kind of putting that vibe out there of you guys need to make me feel welcome or I'm going to fuck you. Then they make her feel welcome. And Tori didn't see the other conversation happen. All she sees is all her friends rallying around Amanda and supporting Amanda's decision. And so in her head, now everybody has betrayed her on her old team. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you're right, dude. She got in there. And I say that as like, I don't like Amanda. It's no fucking secret. Everybody here knows. Everybody out there knows I don't like her. But I will give her that. Like that is one thing she is good at. She will get inside somebody's head and she plants a little tiny bomb and they don't even know that she was in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, man. I just feel like it was a whole bunch of deal making and politicking for no reason.
Oh, absolutely no reason.
For none. I mean, there was no benefit to be had. I mean, it was a guy's day. Nobody's going to throw CT in. Nobody's going to pick CT. They're not going to make him the house vote. Nobody's going to want to call him out. Like, no one's stupid enough in this season to do it. Tori is in no risk. All she did was, I hate to say it because I fucking love Tori, is she fucked her game politically. And it was a dumb move. But nonetheless, before we go way down the rabbit hole on this, because this leads to everything else, let's move into the daily. And with the daily, it was glorious. We haven't seen something like this since Free Agents.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the last time we've had a daily like this was that one in Free Agents. Cause we had that, what was it? It was CT and Zach were paired up and they were going against.
Wasn't Laurel and Cara?
Yeah, but that was on the girls' side.
Oh.
I was just talking about the guys. But yeah, Laurel and Cara were paired up for one of for the girls round. Like that was a dope daily too, that they, you know, a little spin that they had put on from the original one from Rivals where CT invented the motherfucking choo-choo train.
Yeah.
And we see a little bit of that this episode again too, but we'll get into that. But yeah, so we kick into the daily. This one.
Can I say it, guys?
Oh
I'm sorry. God. It's such a cool.
Do it.
Boom Raiders. It just felt right. But anyways, the name of the daily is Boom Raiders. It's the same one we've seen in Dugout, which was in Rivals and then Free Agents, where they basically dig a trench into the ground. This one was obviously for the three teams, Sapphire, Emerald, Ruby, and they all intersected in the middle, almost making roughly a Mercedes symbol is the best way to think of it.
That's a good comparison.
I have them. I have my moments. There's not many, but they happen.
That's what we have here.
I appreciate it. Like I try to chip in where I can. So it's a three-way trench with 10 dynamites. You know what? I'm just going to stop. Go ahead, Karina.
Ricky can't talk tonight. Yeah, so like he said, so we got the three-way trenches, and each station has 10 dynamite sticks in it. So one at a time, we got girls rounds, we got guys rounds. And then one at a time, one teammate will run down and go to either of the other two stations, take a dynamite stick from there and take it back to their stand. First team with 20 dynamite sticks in their stand and to push the button, or I'm sorry, detonate the bomb. And then we get an explosion again, of course. And yeah, so that's the daily this episode. And the first round we kick off with the guys. And this was such a dope opening.
You said push the button.
Yeah,
I did.
It's detonate the bomb.
Put the button.
All right. Before we get any further down that rabbit hole, I've got to talk about the interaction with Emmy and TJ. And I'm going to preface this with the fact that I was super, super down on Emmy's stock in the beginning of the season. I was not a fan. I couldn't get past it. You can go back, listen to the tapes. I said it on the podcast. And she has grown on me with the Mr. TJ and the Uncle CT. But with that being said, oh God, her performance. Yeah, that one against Esther was no joke. She kind of won me over with that one.
Yeah.
And her ability to go down there to try to change her fate. And I'm a fan of that. And that made me like her anymore.
I love that.
With that being said, this was one of the shining moments of the show to me. And it was Emmy's back and forth with TJ where she goes, I have to go against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 girls. And TJ just goes, that sounds like your problem.
No, but he like psyched her out for a second at first. He was like, that's your problem.
Just the way she handled that though says so much about her, because she was like, my problem. And I fucking loved it.
Yes.
No, yes is on All Stars.
What?
He got it.
I don't get it.
You said yes. He said no. Yes is on All Stars.
Oh. Yes is on All Stars, yeah.
So anyways, after
I thought you said yeses, like multiple yeses. And I was like, so I was really confused. I was like, what? What? Yeah. Okay.
So after that little interaction, they all get suited up. You see the guys starting to get hyped up. You see CT starting to get hyped up. And then like I realized like, oh shit, this is a whole reason we watched the challenge. Game face. Big T, let me see your mean face.
Yeah.
That was the greatest mean face ever. We're going to screenshot that.
That was my big T from Double Agents.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. So
go ahead.
So we kick off. First ones to start going through the trench. We get a dope opening shot of CT running through the trench.
Choo choo.
Yeah, fuck yeah, choo choo. Oh my god. And then and Kyle's running at the same time. I believe that Manuel takes off with them. And, we see them and then everybody starts switching back and forth, whatever. Gets down to the last, I think, 10 seconds, because each round is only a minute. And it gets down to the last 10 seconds of this round. And all of a sudden, Kyle's stupid ass runs over and starts taking dynamite sticks from Sapphire, even though they had an agreement that Tori let everybody know that she made with CT. And Kyle was well aware of this. This whole, the whole first half of the fucking round, he was going to Emerald. So why did he all of a sudden switch up and go to Sapphire? It was a mistake, apparently. So Kyle fucks up, takes the Sapphire stick takes the dynamite stick from Sapphire instead of Emerald, and just sets off a whole different kind of explosion down there and pisses CT right the fuck off.
Logan, though. Okay, Kyle. Is that how we're going to do it, Kyle? I was like, oh, fuck, is Tony Montana down there now?
He was so upset. I don't know if I've ever seen that much emotion out of Logan, this whole season.
That was emotion?
Yeah, that was so emotional, baby. I'm so sorry for your guys' eardrums. I really am. I apologize. I won't do that again. But to be honest, that set off what that game needed, which was some animosity to happen. Because at that point, all of a sudden, everybody's starting to get fucking hyped up. You see
everybody.
You see that switch that CT has gets flipped right there. I'm sorry. Was that out loud? Anyways, no, I'm joking. That switch that CT guy has gets flipped. Josh starts fucking yapping at the mouth. Devin starts talking shit. Everybody's going. And then Kyle's like, why'd you tell me Sapphire? I thought we were supposed to be going to Emerald. And when she clearly told everybody, take from Emerald. And what I really think happened is Kyle wanted to make sure Ruby was going to win. And he fucked them by doing that.
Yes, he did. He totally screwed their game. They were set up to win. They were in the lead by far. And then you piss CT off, and this is what happens. CT has that extra gear, even at his age, which is close to my age. I don't have that gear, but he does. He does. He kept it.
I'm younger than you guys, and I don't have that gear.
I don't even have the gear before that gear. Fuck.
To grow up watching CT and watch him these are what CT is made for, the physical eliminations, the puzzles, but I love watching him in the physical ones. And he just wants to just take somebody's head off. And who better than Kyle?
Yeah, that's true too. Well, and not only that, but this moment, all it did was it solidified to Emerald and like confirmed to them that Ruby and Sapphire were indeed working together, because like you could hear them kind of talking about it in the first 30 seconds of that round. You could hear, Josh and them like, hey, what the fuck, but then after this happened and CT was like, oh, what the fuck? And they start fighting and yelling. And he's like, all right, then if that's how you want to play, then that's how we're going to play, game fucking on. And then all of a sudden Emerald's like, yeah, see, they are working together. And that screwed Ruby right there. Like,
then Casey got the look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so it instantly goes from Ruby, Sapphire team up to try to beat Emerald to Sapphire and Emerald decide they're going to team up to beat Ruby.
Yeah.
And they make a super team called Aquamarine.
I think Rick just killed Josh. No. Aquamarine. Oh my gosh. That was funny though. My favorite part about that though has got to be the end when like Kyle was still like trying to fucking like he was trying to explain this away as a mistake, right? He's like, but you said Emerald, and she's like, yeah, I fucking told you Emerald. Tori said that, and then he's like still there yelling back at Logan and them like, I'm sorry, and she's like, just get in the fucking tech, go sit down, and she's like, idiot. Like, I love that. And then the girls line up, they're getting ready to go. Obviously, we know like, the girls are supposed to all be switching off too. One teammate goes and then comes back, switches off with the other one, but Emmy doesn't have anyone to switch off with. So for Sapphire, it ain't looking too hot for the girls on the girls' end. Like I'm pretty nervous at this point because I'm not really sure how this is going to work out for Emmy. But I do think that what happened right before Emmy had to start definitely set her up for some of the success that she ends up having, because I think that if there wasn't a deal made or there wasn't that issue that happened with the deal being broken, like Emmy may have not done as well as she ended up doing, but she goes down there and she kicks some ass for being the only girl in there. And she is fast. Like she is fast. She was getting those dynamite sticks like faster than any of the other girls.
Well, you had Casey going after Tori and Tori going after Casey. And I mean, that hit.
Hold on. Before we get to that.
Yeah, that wasn't even this one.
Round. That was the final round. So This is the round where Amanda comes down and she sees Tori and she looks like a fucking
deer in headlights.
And she tries to climb up out of the trench, and she's lucky Tori took it easy on her ass, because all Tori really did was hip check her.
Yeah, she didn't shoulder drive her. She did nothing like that. She fucking hip checked her and damn near fucking tossed her out of the all the way out of the trench. Like, that was funny. And, I thought it was pretty funny that Amanda tried to like explain it away in her confessional. Like, no, girl, just take the L on that. Like, we all know you're not a physical beast. Tori knew that when she saw you coming running at her. And obviously she's going to take her chance. She's going to take her shot, because that's what Tori is. She's a physical competitor. So like, just take the L, girl. It's good. It's fine.
Look, I'm going to say this real quick. I said this, I think, in the chat. I'm not sure, maybe not. But you know who Amanda reminds me of? She reminds me of that kid that would sit next to the basketball court and watch everybody else play, but he was smaller than everybody else. So all he did was sit on the sideline and talk mad shit the whole time. Like, that's what Amanda reminds me of. He is like he's like Spike Lee at the Knicks game.
Oh, there you go.
You know what I mean? Just sitting there jawing the whole time, but ain't doing shit. But with that being said, like, she does create some entertainment.
Definitely.
So anyways, it's pretty apparent what's happening. Emerald, Sapphire going after Ruby. Emmy's really the shining star in this round, just being able to go back and forth against all these girls by herself. And it's super impressive. And then the timer runs up and they have a little bit of break like they do in between each round. And all of a sudden they start jawing the teams back and forth. And you can see Josh and Kyle starting to get really hyped up. CT starts going in there and Kyle goes, if you guys pick me, one of you is going to have to go in against us.
I'm gonna pick one of you. It's gonna be one of you guys.
And like, it's a threat, but it's a legitimate threat because let's be honest, Kyle and Nelson aren't fucking layups. They're some of the toughest guys you can go into an elimination against.
Yeah, and they're not gonna pick each other.
Exactly. But they're going back and forth, and then Kyle and Josh start really talking shit back and forth, going at it. And that bell rings and you just see, that countdown, like, get ready. We're getting ready to start the round. And you see Kyle coming back and getting hyped and Josh getting hyped. And CT's over there looking like a Buddhist monk, just ready, not an emotion looking in his eyes or anything. He's just zoned out. And then that bell goes off and I'm sitting there and I probably yelped like a schoolgirl. I was so excited.
This was a great round. This is the round we get right out the gate. We get Josh just absolutely freaking rocking Kyle's world in the middle of that trench. And you see these two, you see them collide into each other, and just the distance that they fly apart from each other, like, gives you a little bit of a sense of just how fucking hard Josh hit Kyle, because you can see Kyle damn near stumble and fall backwards.
All I gotta say is, where is this Josh in eliminations?
For real. So we get that moment, and
and then CC just straight pushes Josh over into Kyle and knocks them both the fuck out. It looks like he was just pushing a shopping cart. They look like they got hit by a car.
Yeah, he just drove right through both of them and then just like bunny hops over them, runs and grabs his dynamite stick. Like, CT ain't playing around, man. You don't fuck with. And did you notice that nobody really, like, or at least I didn't notice, nobody really went after CT in the trenches, like. And I think that was pretty fucking smart on everybody's decision.
Nobody had a death wish. Right. They're not that close to the final.
Yeah.
So they go, they do that, and they get up from that hit where CT had pushed them down. They both get up, they run their directions to go grab their dynamite, and they come back again. And Josh, you can see him in the clip. You can see him look over to the side, and he's like watching Kyle, just timing him. And he's like, round 2. And they get down to the bottom, and it's like all 3 of them. Logan's there. And you could see Josh like push Logan like off to the side so that he can go like retract a little bit and then slam into Kyle. They sit there and they like wrestle each other for a minute. And Kyle is like holding on to Josh, like holding him down onto the ground. And Josh is like, dude, like, let me go. You can't hold me. You can't hold me. Like, let go. Devin's sitting up there. He's screaming at Kyle, calling Kyle a dirty little bitch. Like, the whole scenario was just like so fucking amped up. And I loved every single second of this.
Kyle went big brother on him and held him, played dirty.
Yeah, he did. He sure as hell did. He pulled a Fessy.
They were in the dirt.
Just saying. But the one that gets me, and I didn't mention earlier, but you could really see it in the first round when they first took off, is how freaking fast Emmanuel is. He is quick as hell, because by time those guys got to the point where they were getting ready to make the turn, he had already made the turn down Ruby's lane. Like,
he's quick.
I want to see him and Corey do that elimination that Corey and Darrell did last year.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's a solid matchup. And I know that's going way off in a different direction. But yeah, that whole round with Josh, Kyle, Devin, CT. I mean, look, like, nobody was trying to tackle CT, but CT made sure he made some contact. The only downside I have to this is stop putting them in bicycle helmets when they do this. Put them in a fucking football helmet.
Yes, I was wondering about that too. Like, that's just, it's weird. And then I don't know for sure. Obviously, like, maybe I just didn't see it happen with the editing and stuff, but it did not look like Tori had a mouth guard in at all. And I was just like, girl, like, you're lucky that
she probably pulled it out when they were not running so she could talk, because you can't really talk with the mouth guard in.
Yeah, it was just like her shot right before TJ says go. She does not have a mouth guard in her mouth, but Casey does. And it's just, I'm like, dude, I hope that was just editing, Because like, I mean, obviously nothing bad happened, but I'm like, damn, girl.
I mean, they're rare, but you can get a bottom mouth guard, you know, and it's not as visible. But,
maybe.
I mean, which leads right into the next part, which is the final round. And right off the bat, and Josh alluded to this earlier, is Tori and Casey lining up, and they're not even looking at Emmy. They're just looking at each other.
Yeah.
And they do like a quick close up of Casey and the look in her eyes, like she is ready. And I just got like, it was one of those, like, you got chills. And then they showed Tori.
Dude, even real quick before you move on to Tori, even just Casey's interview when she was talking about that moment. And I know that these are filmed after, you know, obviously, but even just like her interview gave me chills because she was like, you know, I've been playing women's football for 9 years, blah, 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 blah. And then she just goes, so yeah, I'm gonna put these pads to use. And I was just like, oh, girl, yeah, fucking get it. Like, it got me so hyped.
So, they take down the hill. And you can see that Casey's definitely got a step as far as speed goes on Tori. And once again, like I said, they don't even pay attention to Emmy. And Casey turns that corner a little bit faster than Tori was expecting. And Casey's smart. You know, she came in with her shoulder pads, you know, low, and popped up and fucking put Tori on her ass. And the greatest part about it, and the irony of it all, was about 30 seconds before that, Tori was like, you bitches don't want this. Believe that.
You bitches don't want to see this.
And then Tori's on her ass. And I found that fucking hilarious, but nonetheless, like, popped right back up, runs over. And it's, God, I'm just gonna preview. I'll let someone else describe it, but I said this earlier. The hardest hit I've seen since CT knocked Bananas and Tyler into a different dimension on Rivals is about to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. So we get, you know, they get up, they run up, grab their dynamite sticks, and they're coming right back down to go take their sticks back to their station to switch off with their teammate, right? And so this is right after Casey just leveled Tori. And I think that it fired Tori up a little bit. And she was like, okay, I'm not going to get ate up on this next round. Like, I'm going to at least do what I can to maybe give, you know, Casey a little bit to think about after this encounter here in the middle of the trenches. And she sure as fuck does, man. She comes down and she laid her shoulder right into Casey. They both come into each other. But I don't know, man. I think Tori kind of got her on that one a little bit. Like, you see Casey just like fly back into that back wall, and she like bounced off that. And, you know, so they just collide. They have this huge collision. It's fucking awesome. But I do want to point out that later we see Casey with like bruises all over her fucking face from like forehead to chin. And I can't really think of anything that could have came from other than colliding into Tori's shoulder pad.
Pretty much. And I was like, it looked like Tori got the worst of it. But when you see later on, you're like, oh crap, no, Casey took the worst of it. At least by the looks.
So here's my thing is, I watched it back a couple times because it's one of those moments. It looks like a Madden hit stick moment. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So, and I've watched it a couple times, and this is what I've gotten from it. Tori is coming downhill. Casey has already turned the corner in the trenches, in the same trench that Tori's in at this point, and is now heading uphill. They both lower their shoulders. Tori's got the speed and the weight coming downhill. Casey's got the lower center of gravity and can get lower because she's on the lower part of the hill. And when they hit, they both, I mean, I want to say Tori gives her the better of it, but because the way Casey bounces back off of that wall and her back shoulder hits that wall, that's a lot of energy coming off of that. But I watched it again, and Tori, the only thing that's different is Tori just falls straight back instead of bouncing off the wall.
Right.
You know, but that's angles. Either way, it is the hardest fucking hit we've seen in 10 years in the challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I mean, and like we even talked with Tori a little bit about it today. And she had, given a statement that said that it was, one of the best games that she had ever played in. And she was like, she says that she took a hard hit and that, but she's proud of that. And that's what the game's about. And that she, that's what she was there for pretty much. And so like, she gives the nod to Casey in that. I don't know if that's just
humble,
like being humble, but at the same time, I do like that she is, willing to give Casey the nod to that and vice versa. Casey did the same thing and fucking pretty much said like, yeah, dude, she came at me with what she got. So that was really dope. I love seeing that. But literally not even 3 seconds later, Emmy grabs the last dynamite stick, pops it in their stand, pushes the button.
I knew you were going to say that.
But no, she detonates the bomb, pulls the lever, whatever it is. I think it was a lever that they had to like pull down or push down or something like that. Fucking bombs explode.
It was the old fucking Looney Tunes.
Was it like
the box with the fucking, you push down, it detonates the TNT. I was waiting for Roadrunner to come out and paint like a truck coming through an alleyway on a brick wall. No, it was, but before we, obviously Sapphire wins, but Emmy's the MVP. Because she was the only girl that didn't get a break. She had to run every single fucking time. And I can't imagine how dead she was after running both those rounds.
She didn't even look like she was out of breath either. Like she has got I think she's got some endurance more than we have been able to see. And I'm excited to see like, what more she can bring. Like if we get more endurance challenges or if, by chance she makes it to a final and we get to see her run through a final, just to see what that longer endurance is like. But I think that this kind of gave us a really good, perspective on what she's capable of. And I think that it's funny that she was questioning she was questioning TJ about this at the beginning of the daily. Like, how the hell am I going to go against 5 girls? And then she fucking smokes them all and wins.
Well, I mean,
all the dynamite by herself.
With all that being said, great job to Emmy. That was freaking amazing. But it also helps when you're not getting hit.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. It does help when you're not getting hit. But if you really think about it and break it down, there weren't a lot of big hits in this. There was like the couple with, Tori and Amanda, Tori and Casey. There was a couple with the guys, but like when the girls were going, there weren't very many hits at all. And she was doing all of the work on their team. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm going to give it to her. I'm going to give it to her for MVP of that daily because she fucking kicked ass. Definitely. What I found even more funny though was that they decided. So Nelson starts throwing a fit, right? Because he's pissed. He's done with Ruby. He's over it. They just lost again. Sapphire wins. He's fucking pissed, and he's really pissed at Kyle because again, Kyle pretty much ruined their whole plan. And Nelson is only on Ruby because of Kyle. And so he's fucking livid right now, right? And then they start playing that song Ruby by Kaiser Chiefs over Nelson throwing his pit. Ruby. I lost it laughing, dude. That was so fucking funny.
So how many times has Kyle done this though in a daily? He screwed over Devin.
This is the 3rd time this season that he has quote unquote made a mistake.
Let alone the times he couldn't pull the plug.
Are you talking about his hair?
No, I was talking about the mucus plug.
Oh my God. It was so anyway, we get back to the house and we get the drama.
Now, did you see CT's post on Instagram?
Oh no! What was it?
Movie?
Yes.
I had to go find it.
Did you not see that, Karina?
Wait, what? What are we talking? I think I might have. I've been editing like a crazy person, guys.
Hold on, I'm about to bring it up. I can't play the audio because the audio is going to be crap over my phone onto the mic, but.
By the time you guys hear this, you'll have already seen it, but I've been crazy editing Anissa's interview. And so I haven't seen much of anything,
but he posts this scene and I'm not going to describe it. Go on his IG, go watch the scene. But the quote on it is, uncut Kyle versus CT fight footage. And the quote is, "What kind of man crawled into his own grave in search of hope?" Hey, referencing Kyle.
Oh, I love it.
And you know what? I just saw the replay of CT going out west for like 8 hours in Rivals 1. And it was like, he ain't wrong.
Oh, and that was unedited. That's on IG somewhere too, guys, just so you know.
Yeah. So no, I saw that and it was fitting. I mean, look, and that's the thing is they can say Uncle CT, you know, the old man of the house, the vet, whatever you want. No, that man, he will smash your head and eat it still.
Yeah.
Still. But then he'll go out and get soft serve for CJ.
Right.
So, I mean, we come back to the house and they're talking. You have Kyle and CT on the back side of the house downstairs just chatting. And then you can see Kyle at first try to plead with CT to apologize. And then he flips it himself. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? And then you wonder why everybody says this about you.
I think it really actually did fuck him up when CT said, you know, question their friendship.
When CT said it's not a real friendship, yeah.
Yeah, I think that really kind of fucked Kyle up and made him change his tactic. But it's typical Kyle. It's his MO. Just like CT said, every year he snakes someone. He'll do something that fucks somebody else's game up. And it's really to no advantage to Kyle. It always ends up hurting him in the long run. Like he doesn't get a huge benefit from it, you know. And I like Kyle, dude. I really root for Kyle. And I think he's currently the guy with the longest continuous run of seasons. Like I think he's been on the most over the last, you know, 7-8 seasons, or well, since what, Vendettas?
He can thank Cara for giving him his start.
Well, we can thank him for Cara not being on the show anymore too. So
yes,
right. I mean, it's iconic. You know, when he called her dirty pirate, you know, that was the moment I started loving Kyle even more. So
he's just an ass, and I love him for it. But you know, that whole conversation, it was basically, I mean, to me, it was CT saying, "Dude, you fucked up. Stop digging your own grave," and then Kyle continuing to dig his own grave with CT. And, you know, and that's tends to happen with CT. And then I thought, you know, really the main one is discussion that happened is the one with, what was it? Devin, Josh, Amanda.
No, Devin,
Josh, Tori,
and Manuel.
And Manuel were there. Mm-hmm. And look.
Yeah, I definitely want to talk about this because everybody here knows that we are all very big fans of Devin and very big fans of Tori. Dave and Dave, the two Daves and the duck. We love the duck, sending our love. And I don't know, man. I just got to say that, you know, I'm not going to recap the whole fight. You guys, everybody saw it. But I think that I was a little disappointed with Devin on this episode here, man. I was a little bit disappointed with this, and I get it. You know, everybody gets wrapped up in the game, wrapped up in that desire to win. But like, I just think it's a little ironic to call somebody selfish for playing their game and not yours. You know what I mean? And I think that Devin has noticed it and realized what he did because he was on Tori and Anissa's podcast and he owned up to it. But man, I was a little bit disappointed in that, to be honest.
You're not, I mean, you're a big fan. I'm a big fan of Devin. I mean, we all are, but to call him out and to watch the fandom call out Devin, you know, after this episode, calling him selfish and like, they just turned on him. I get where he was coming from a little, you know, it's like, Tori, we were just working together. We can still work together. We don't have to be on the same team. Kind of like how when Corey and Nelson first started out, when they first started with the 3 teams.
Right. Yeah.
They knew that they didn't have to be on the same team to still work together. But Tori and Devin didn't have that conversation to be like, hey, just because you're not on my team doesn't mean we can't still work together and still make it to the final. We can still do this. We can still be a team. And they let other people get in the way. They let their own egos get in the way. and they ruined it. And Devin kind of let it go. And like I said, I listened to a little part of that as well. The actual official podcast where he owns up to it. And Tori shared a piece of it to her Instagram story as well, where, oh, look, he even showed up because he's still my friend. Right. They're still friends.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a game. They realized it, but they should have had that conversation and that whole fight wouldn't have happened.
Exactly. I do agree. If they had had better communication, and honestly, I don't know, maybe not, because, you know, Devin talks about this a little bit in the Tori and Anissa interview, I think. But, you know, as he said that one of his favorite things about Tori is that she is so loyal and she is ride or die for like whatever her team is. And so it's like, I think that Devin kind of knew that they're like, a part of him knew that that's what was going to happen, that Tori was going to ride for Ruby. Right. But I think that just actually seeing it happen shocked him and made him feel like she was working against him, even though it wasn't necessarily against him. It was just like for herself. And so I think that, and again, you know, the pressures of the game, you're starting to get close to the end and you're starting to get close to the final and you want to win. You know, Devin hasn't seen a final since Rivals 3 when he went with Cheyenne, and he wants to see a final, you know? So, I mean, I can see where he's coming from, but at the same time, like, I don't think that he was right.
All right. So I'll kind of wrap this portion up about Devin and Tori, and I'll keep it pretty short and sweet. One, they should have had the conversation separately, not in front of everyone, because that caused Tori to try to save face instead of being transparent with Devin, and Devin called her on it. At the end, he said, you know, don't bullshit me, Tori, and call me your friend kind of thing. And I can respect that because to a degree, Tori was trying to save face. And I get it. You're doing it for $1 million. I don't blame you, but at the same time, I get it. And that's all I have to say about that. Don't do it in front of everybody. Don't bullshit your friends. You'll be fine.
Yeah, they probably could have had that conversation solo, but you know, it is what it is. We move into nominations, and you know,
basically we go in there. Everybody gives the same bullshit speech, which is, I've done everything for everyone in this game. I put everybody else's game in front of my own. That's why I shouldn't go in. You know, from there, it goes to Ruby, where Nelson kind of says, you know, I always stay ready, which we get in Ellie. You're Scuba Nelly. You are ready at all times, and you're an elimination beast. And then Kyle kind of, you know, which we're all waiting for. We all know who's going to get picked. You know, we know who screwed the pooch this episode.
We all know.
And it's no different than Mucus Plug. And the one where they were hanging upside down and they had to run and he screwed over Devin in that one. Like, we knew what was going to happen there too. But anyways, Kyle goes through, gives his spiel about how he doesn't want to go in, but says, if I am chosen, I'm calling down Emmanuel and I'm taking Logan's spot on Sapphire. And it's a good call. You know what I mean? It was a
good attempt at, you know, trying to put a little bit of fear into Sapphire that, hey, I'm going to come back to your fucking team, you know, because he knows. I don't think Kyle's stupid. He knows that CT doesn't want him over there.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think that sways him in any way, because I feel like CT understands that he can control Kyle more on his own team than he can on someone else's team.
Right.
So, you know, regardless if that's actually true or not, it is what it is. So at that point, they basically go in to make their nominations, and surprise, surprise, Kyle's the house vote. And then, you know, we get into the after part of the politics, which is a little bit more in depth. And I think you get a really good idea on kind of where people in the house are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree, because even in this moment, we see, for example, we see Amanda and Kyle talking, and Kyle's talking about, you know, I don't want to call down anybody that I'm friends with. It flashes to Josh, which gives the impression that they might be talking about Josh. And, you know, Amanda's like, dude, don't think about friendships. Like, do what you have to do for you. Like, stop thinking about friendships and worrying about all of that, because none of that shit matters right now. Right. And then, you know, we flash over to, you know, Tori and Emmanuel cuddling in bed, and, you know, and she's telling him like, dude, get ready. Like, Kyle is going to want to call you out. And Emmanuel's like, no, he's not that stupid. And yes, he is pretty stupid, Emmanuel, if you haven't noticed. Okay.
That he is. But you got to love what Emmanuel's saying. He's like, he don't want this. I mean, if you're going to pick me, you're going to go home.
Yeah, I love the confidence. And honestly, like, I kind of was hoping he would pick Emmanuel because I would love to see Emmanuel in an elimination and just see how he handles himself down there.
Agreed. I do want to see what he can do. But with that being said, like, Manuel, have you really watched the challenge? Like, Kyle's not that dude.
No, he's not a pushover, dude.
No.
Kyle's a good competitor.
He's not that dude.
No, I mean, like, and people forget because you see him on TV and he's next to, most of the time when they show him standing up, he's next to someone that's relatively close to his height, like, you know, CT or Fessy. But people forget he's like 6'2" and probably pushing about 200 pounds. Like, dude's no joke. You know, he's got an athletic body. He's muscular build. He's quick. And he's got the longest arms known to man somehow, and just overcomes everyone at pole wrestle.
He really does. The pre-eliminations with Josh letting us know that he's wearing Fessy socks for good luck, which this whole part was just a little much for me, Josh. You know, just a little much.
Twitter loved it.
It's fine. Yeah, no, Twitter loved it. Most of the fans loved it. It's just a little much for me. Like, and I don't know, maybe I'm misunderstanding the situation. Like, were these the socks that Fessy wore when he went against Kyle? Because that's what it came off like to me. And that's just a little weird. I don't understand that. Or are they like socks that have the picture of Fessy? I don't understand this.
So I'm going to go ahead and clear this sock situation
Somebody,
up for
please.
you. One, the picture of Fessy on that sock is from last year. So I don't believe he was wearing them because it is the picture of him going against Kyle.
Oh my God. He put them on socks?
Yeah, he took a photo of himself and put them on his own socks and then in turn gifted them to Josh when he was leaving the house to wear for good luck.
But did Fessy wear these at all before he left and gifted them to Josh this season? That's what I want to know.
I don't have the Carfax on the socks facts, if you will.
I need a socks facts on these, okay?
Show me the socks facts.
I can't say what I want to say until we get into the layer and find out who.
Well, let's head into the layer, man. We get down. We see this crazy ass contraption that looks like a bridge with a couple ladders on each side and some bells hanging. It's kind of confusing. At first, I got really excited because I almost kind of looked like a twist on the elimination from the duel where CT absolutely smoked Evan and Evan tried to like cheat with drawing the fucking puzzle on his arm, and they had to climb up and go across the ladder, release the puzzle pieces, climb back down and then put the pieces together. Right. And it almost kind of looked something like that.
It wasn't that though.
It wasn't that at all. No, I was a little bit disappointed, but
can I?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so the title of this, and it was aptly named for the people that were competing in it. The name of this elimination was called Burning Bridge or Burning Bridges, which Kyle's really fucking good at. But the basic premise of the game is you have to take a leap of faith, hit a bell, and once you hit that bell, you can grab a plank, carry it back up the ladder, back to the platform, lay it down to create a bridge to cross to set off, you guessed it, not a button, but an explosion.
Push a button.
And who does Kyle pick to come down? None only than Josh.
Well, it's a sound decision to make too. Once he saw what it was, it was a good call.
It's a fair decision.
So now I can make the comment about the socks. How fitting is it that it's the picture of the socks where Fessy goes against Kyle and Josh wears them when he goes against Kyle?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just going to, spoiler alert, Kyle doesn't break a finger in this one.
That would have been really bad.
Right.
Yeah, so there's 16 planks that they got to get for the bridge, and they both start out pretty strong. Kyle is just a little bit faster than Josh, but dude, Josh is on his ass. And then all of a sudden, for whatever fucking reason, these guys start like there's like no strategy to how they are jumping to hit this bell. They're like waiting until the bell is like on the complete opposite end, like swinging away from them. Yeah. And then they want to jump. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you guys doing right now?
Look,
well, thanks for Coach Devin.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
But
yes.
let's be honest. Smarts in the middle of a pressure situation is neither of these guys like, you know, top skills. It's not what they succeed at.
They're not under pressure type of guys.
As evidence, no offense to Josh, but his elimination last year against Michi throwing those goddamn medicine balls to the wall.
Oh my God.
But with that being said, this was not that. Josh came out and Josh competed. I mean, like, I don't think there was a point where he was necessarily in the lead, but there also wasn't a point where he was more than
one plank behind.
Yeah. I mean, he was literally like Kyle would be laying a plank down and Josh would be getting up on the platform to go lay his down. Kyle would hit the bell, land. Josh would hit the bell, land. It was close the whole time. And you know what? Fuck it. People can say Josh is a layup all he wants, but he fucking competed in that. And I think if he would have gone against anyone in that situation, he would have made it close, just as close, if not won. Like he goes down there against Devin. He goes down there against Logan, you know, any of those guys. I think he has a fair shot of winning. If he goes against CT, no. But, you know.
Yeah, I don't know how Logan would have done in that. I mean, I don't know how his leg is 100%, but he also didn't in that daily. He didn't look bad, so I think his leg is much better now than what it was a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, I'm just kind of remembering his endurance from the one against Gabo. Yeah. You know, so that's kind of where I'm a little bit hesitant on how he would do in that.
Yeah,
but definitely. You know, they're going back and forth. I mean, really, it's a pretty simple elimination for the most part. It's not that complicated. Touch a bell, grab a plank, lay down, go back and do it again.
But there's drama.
Yeah. And what I was surprised about was there was not one person in that house other than maybe Amanda rooting for Kyle.
No, even Amanda was rooting for Josh. Damn. Nobody. And that's what blew my mind because like I had to go back and check that because of the conversation that she had with Kyle that I just brought up just a little bit ago about how she was like, don't worry about friends, like do whatever. And then at the end of the nomination, she was like, because Kyle started to cry a little bit at the end of the nominate, not cry, but he got upset and he kind of wiped his eyes when he got voted in. And, you know, and she was like, dude, I have full faith that you're going to go in there. You're going to kick ass. You're going to win. You're going to come home. Like, I fully believe this. And then she tells him like, hey, pick anybody you want. Like, don't worry about friendships. Like, you got this. Everything's good. And then he calls down Josh and she doesn't even fucking root for him. And nobody is rooting for him. Like, I don't know.
Kyle even mentions it. And I think that just helped him. They gave him that little extra to keep going, and especially as hard as he did, he realized nobody was rooting for him. He knew that he had messed up, but hey, he came back.
He did, man. He killed that elimination. I mean, I don't necessarily want to say that he
didn't kill it.
He killed it as far as like he did very well.
Yeah,
but Josh was right on his ass. And honestly, if Josh hadn't have missed like even one of those jumps or even just that last jump,
it would have been close.
It would have been like nail biting close on who gets their plank and hits.
Josh said endurance is my thing. I'm like, oh, come on, dude, this is not even going to be close. And then when we get to at the very end and him to only lose by like one plank, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm sorry.
And it wasn't even like, it wasn't even like a full plank because he was up on the platform walking his bridge to lay that plank down when Kyle hit the button.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, going into it, I was thinking, like, if I would have really paid attention, they have 16 planks, and this is, blah, 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 I would have been like, dude, if I'm a betting man, I'm putting the over-under on this is Kyle's, he's got a +6 handicap. You know what I mean?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like, I would have given him 6 planks. Like, he would have been finishing at Josh's 10. And I think that's a realistic expectation based on what we've seen Josh in elimination from the past. With that being said, I think there are some situations where he gets a lot of hate where he shouldn't, like that elimination with Amanda and him against Ashley Kane and Cam. Like, if they would have just slowed down for a half second and thought about that, they could have won. They were killing them. They were smoking them in that elimination. But Josh just got a little bit overamped, didn't think it through, and thought his legs were long enough the whole way up when they obviously weren't.
Yep.
The Jordan one, look, it's Jordan.
Yeah.
It's Jordan. Not a lot of people are beating Jordan. I don't give a fuck who you are, right?
Yeah.
And you can say the excuse, oh, he's only got one hand. Like, that doesn't matter. He still won 3 finals. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit.
No. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a bullshit.
Well, and it's almost like Marlon said, like, Jordan having one hand is almost like a plus for him instead of a minus, because people automatically underestimate him.
Exactly.
And he's still capable of everything.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, so, you know, as you obviously realized with our conversation now, Kyle wins this elimination, beats Josh, ends up sending Josh packing.
Everybody's sad.
Everybody's sad. I give Josh credit though, because he handled it like, you know, he handled it like a champ should. And not saying he's a champ, but he handled it like a fair sport
like
would.
a competitor
should, which he was a pro about it. He was like, you know, thank you guys, you know, blah, blah, blah. He didn't even cry right there. He cried in his, you know, his confessional, and I give it up for that, you know, and
absolutely. And
I get it. Like, dude, you can hate a dude on crying, even though today, as we record this, it's National Men's Day, and it's about mental health for men and awareness. And we're always being told it's okay to show our emotions. But a motherfucker gets on TV and cries, and it's the end of the world.
Yeah, the fan base melts down.
Yeah, and that's all they want to talk about and hold him to, you know, him. And it's not just on the challenge. They started when he did it on Big Brother.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry. If I got 500,000 on the line, I'm going to cry too.
Yeah, exactly. Dude. Bro, I looked at photos of my kid the other day, and I was like, oh my God, he was so small. He's 3 months. And I started crying, dude. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, to me, it's a stupid reason to not like somebody. Like, not like somebody because they play dirty or they play a super messy game. And sometimes Josh does that, and I can understand that. The minute someone's like, oh, it's because he cries, it's like, bro, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no need for that.
Excuse my language, but I'm passionate about this.
So Josh takes off. Kyle wins. It's no fucking secret that Kyle is not staying on Ruby, and he holds true to what he said in Noms, and he kicks Logan off, tells Logan, get your ass on over to your Ruby team. He
says, get off my team.
He says, get off my team, Logan. Yeah. Takes Logan's spot. Logan says he's cool with it. Says, you know, he's like, I've said it before, I'll say it again, Ruby till I die, blah, blah, blah. But in reality, we all know that if Logan ever has a chance, he is fucking coming right back to Sapphire.
Definitely.
Ruby is the redemption house of teams.
It is, isn't it? It is. It's like a redemption house.
Where's Polly when you need him?
Bro, look, do you really want to get me started on this guy? Because I'm really at my wit's end.
He's out there running his mouth about Josh, too.
That's the end of this episode recap.
Right? Josh is like...
And I apologize for bringing up Polly.
Look, I'm just going to say, like, oh, Josh is son the president. Like, no, he is not. Like, the dude who won last season, like the vets, Corey, Leroy, those guys are the standard. Stop saying Josh is a standard because they're too sour about not getting callbacks.
Did you see Josh's reply to Polly?
Oh,
no. Probably I know it sounds similar to that. I don't remember.
Josh replied to Polly, and he didn't reply to Polly. He put out a response. You put out something in response to Polly's thing. And I saw it on one of the Challenge T pages on IG. And he said something along the lines of, you know, had like a picture of him just like chilling or whatever. And was like, it's a little video of somebody like dancing and like partying, having a drink. And he says, my mood when past alum are hating, but I'm staying booked. I was
Perfect response.
Burn. But yeah, I mean, and that ends the episode there. Obviously, you know, we get a tiny little clip of next episode. Again, it's just more of Devin and Tori arguing and you know, trying to figure out what's going on with them. So I mean, I'm excited to see what happens with the next episode. Obviously, we know that their friendship is okay, but I'm excited to see how this affects them moving forward in the game.
Tori begs him to say those 3 words that every woman wants to hear.
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Tori. She's like, just say it. I'm sorry, Tori.
Just say it. And our friendship is fine. Just say it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for the episode.
Yeah. It wasn't like a cliffhanger. It wasn't like a lot of surprising things happening. It was just a solid episode of the challenge. To me, it reminded me of what you would see in Invasion or in Arrivals or Arrivals 2.
Yeah,
it was just
simple.
a solid episode that played well.
Yeah.
We got our drama. We got our daily. We got our elimination. We got more drama. We got a head rocking daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that might have like topped it is if we would have had an elimination like Wrecking Ball. But otherwise, like it was top notch. Like I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah. Same here.
Yeah. So, I mean, guys, I think that pretty much wraps it up for us. Josh is looking like he's not even looking into the camera, but looking through it right now. He's pointing at his bed. So with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in, not only to the challenge and then tuning in to listen to us and share our thoughts on the challenge. And, if you guys have certain things you want to hear us discuss or questions you want answered, we'll do our best to come up with those answers or find them out for you guys and keep trying to bring you a great show every week. For myself, Rick, the one and only, the beautiful, the humble, lovable gentleman and the scholar, Josh Chambers. And then my lovely wife, Karina.
My God. Those two, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
That's it. That's all that needs to be said.
Have a great night, day, morning, week. Don't forget to catch a challenge this week. Thank you guys so much for hanging in with us during our 3-week break this here lately. And yeah, we will talk to you guys soon. We'll have an All Stars 2 update recap out for you guys soon. And make sure that you guys go check out our Anissa interview that we just recently dropped. It is everywhere: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, everything.
And as always, stay classy, fandom.
Oh, you thought we were gone. We're not gone. I'm here to remind you to subscribe to our podcast. Listen to us on YouTube as well, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get it, because we have got a fire lineup of cast members coming on over the next few weeks. And we've got some special guests coming on for our Trash Talk Roundtable next week, and maybe in the next couple weeks some more. So guys, you don't want to miss out on this. Go ahead and hit subscribe. You don't want to go without hearing mine and Karina and Josh's sultry voice every Tuesday and Sunday. We love you.
Bye.